Hello, I'm in the kitchen of the Ormore rehearsal rooms, and I'm with the writer of next week's play, April de Angelis, who has written Calais, which I hope you're going to come and see because it's a very funny play and it's a very touching and poignant play. April, it's lovely to have you here.
It's great to be here.
I'd like to ask you first, what was it that attracted you to this theme, this subject?
Well, I'd read a book about Emma Hamilton and I thought how extraordinary her life was, and the idea had sort of stuck with me that it would be a good subject at some point. So it's one of those ideas you have floating around, and then when I got asked to do this piece, and I knew there wasn't a lot of time to sort of spend sort of thinking about what that might be, I sort of just reached for an idea in a way that I already had in some way. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact also that there was a mother and a daughter relationship in it, and that it had a very sort of strong setting at the end of her life, and that it could be done. I felt like it could be done in the time. And also, I have written history plays before, and there's something I really like about going back in time.
Right.
I just really enjoy it.
You're drawn to historical themes.
I think I am, and I sort of I've written I think about three other plays that have historical themes, and I don't really know why, except I really liked history when I was a kid. I've never really studied it,
right.
But A-level I did, but not university.
As a writer, you have sort of invented a language which is not, it's not Yonbi then,
no.
but it's heightened, it's not contemporary.
I think that's really interesting if you're writing in another historical period. It allows you to move away from naturalism, and it allows you to kind of invent something and, touch on reference a kind of style that people might have spoken in the turn of the 19th century, 18th, 19th century. And I think that sort of enriches, and it's really fun, and it enriches the language in some way. And I like that playfulness, that it does become heightened, as you say.
Yes.
And also people's gestures and the kind of things that might actually happen are a little bit different.
Yes.
So I think it offers you a kind of a lot of resources in that way as a writer. I enjoy.
And you've written lots of kind of what might almost be called period arch jokes.
Yes, that's true. Well, it's really. It is fun. They seem to. I think the characters also, I have to say, Emma Hamilton is a really theatrical character.
Yeah.
And she indulged in theatrics in her life, as well as being sort of quite dramatic, melodramatic. And that also lends itself to theatre in a way.
Yeah.
You've got a character who's larger than life, who has played various roles in life, and you can borrow all that for your piece. It's ready-made, it's not kind of muted, naturalistic.
Yeah. So you're drawn away from naturalism comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely, I think that's right.
I think audiences are too.
You're good, I hope they are.
I'm interested, how do you feel about the constraints of the short play? Like all the plays we do at Ormore are under 50 minutes.
Yes.
Do you find that?
Well, I think it actually is really liberating, because you think, well, I could try this idea out. It in a sense, it frees you from thinking, well, if I'm writing a full-length play, you're going to commit 6 months or a year or something to it. But if you're writing a piece or more, it's done in a matter of weeks, isn't it? Because it has to be. Yeah. And somehow it's a real delight to kind of feels more playful and kind of there's less depending on it in some way. Yeah. And also, it's a really nice, as you said, I think when I spoke to you, it's a little bit on the phone before I did it, it was a little bit more like a short story. And I think I think that's a really nice form to think about, that it's almost like you're writing about a moment, or a moment rather than, I don't know if I put that very well, but I liked that anyways for you.
Tell me a wee bit about your trajectory, if you like, into theatre. Right. You were an actress first and foremost.
I was an actor. I did an English degree, and then I became an actor. I worked with a company. I worked with women in women's theatre, and I eventually worked for Monstrous Regiment, which was in its time quite a kind of
I remember
pioneering women's comedy.
Jilly Hanna, who was one of the founders of Monstrous Regiment, worked with me in 1984.
Right. Well, there you go. That's a link. No, she's a wonderful actor. Yeah. And I think then I got interested in writing parts for women as well.
Right.
And then I sort of I found out that I wasn't really an actor. I think I really love theatre and think I want to be an actor, I want to be do it, and then actually you discover that's not quite who you are.
Right.
And then I entered a competition for young writers at the Albany Empire Theatre in Deptford. It was a project called Second Wave, and you had to be under 30, and I just wrote a play for them because it just seemed, well, it was now or never, and I'd written a play at university and I'd really enjoyed doing that, but I couldn't quite sort of admit to myself that I was a writer because it seemed really kind of quite a huge thing to admit.
Right.
So it took me it took me this competition, so I was in my mid-20s, I thought, well, I might as well do it now, because I had this little voice in my head saying, if you don't do it, you're not going to be happy, you'll never be. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to... And then I sort of got into it that way. I'm not saying it's always made me happy or anything, but I'm really glad I did it, you know, and went that way because it's
And
interesting to
you've had
explore.
a tremendously successful career.
Well, I've had
you've
some,
worked at
yes.
most of the flagship companies.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it always feels like you can do better, do you know what I mean?
You've got some very interesting projects in the pipeline.
Yes.
An
Yeah.
opera?
Yes, an opera. I've written some librettos before, and I'm working on a libretto for Gorillas. It's a group called Gorillas. It's David Alban who's doing the music,
Yeah.
and I'm working with the director. Actually, we're kind of co-writing the libretto for that for E&O for 2011, 12, 2012.
That's English National Opera.
I think so. Opera,
Yeah.
yeah. And I've been writing other plays that.
What's the next play?
Well, the next
we'll be
play
able to
is,
see?
well, hopefully, I've just given I shouldn't really say this, but I've given a draft into the National Theatre, and I just have to, that's been progressing. So hopefully that will work out. But, you know, you just never, that's the thing about being a writer, you can't count on things really. But I mean, hopefully that looks, well, it's in a process, it's good. It hasn't been like kicked out the back door.
Well, I hope you're going to come back and work with us again.
Well, I'd love to do that.
Good.
Anytime.
I'd like to really encourage you to come and see Calais. It's set in France. They're great characters, and it's going to be well worth seeing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.